Welcome to Hacking Your ADHD. I'm your host, William Kerb, and I have ADHD. On this podcast, I dig into the tools, tactics, and best practices to help you work with your ADHD brain. Hey team, I hope you're having a great holiday season. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about what's going on with hacking your ADHD over this last year and what's hopefully coming up next year. But you know what? We can just get right into it. We don't need any more introduction here. So let's cut that music and there we go. Well, it's been another year of podcasting and the pod has been growing and changing. But before we get into anything like that, let's go over some of the numbers from this year because I think some of them are pretty exciting. So while there are always going to be new milestones to hit, 2023 had some big ones. First off, the podcast passed over 5 million total downloads, which is just wow. And 2.4 million of those downloads came from this year alone. That's incredible. So thank you everyone for listening. I was close to hitting publishing every week with 50 episodes published, and 37 of them were new releases, so that's pretty good. Hopefully next year I can do even better. And this puts us past 150 total. This episode should be 164? 63. I'm on top of things. You know that, guys. But I'm really excited to be able to share this with you all because these are great numbers, and I'm so proud to have listeners that want to hear what I have to say. So thank you for being a listener, and know that you are appreciated. Now, as for what's coming up with the pod, you may have noticed that there's been a shift to a much more interview-based format. This was only somewhat intentional, because while I did want to move more in that direction, the intention was never to go purely into an interview-based show. And while I do enjoy doing the interviews, and I do have some exciting ones coming up, I still want to be working on my own ideas. And so I'm going to be attempting to phase back into some of those shorter monologue-based episodes. My plan right now is to do them as bonus episodes throughout the months. Right now I'm thinking of having 2 monologue episodes a month released maybe on Fridays. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see about when that gets implemented. Now, part of what's going on here is that interviews are just so much easier to produce. I have to put in 3 to 4 times the amount of hours to produce a single 15-minute episode compared to like a 30-minute interview. But at the same time, I want to get back to those monologue episodes because there are so many ideas I want to explore and stuff I actually want to revisit as well. I'd love to do some more writing on laziness, and I really want to get into how to set up some better systems for ourselves. So look forward to those. And also along with those notes, I'd also like to get back into answering some more listener questions. I do try to do that over email as much as I can. And in an ideal world, I'd be able to be linking up these monologues with relevant interviews. But I really don't want to get ahead of myself. There's still a lot of work to do to get into that new rhythm. Part of the reason I was doing so many interviews was because I've been getting better at answering my email. And through my email, I do get a lot of interview requests. Now, I do try to filter those requests and not be blasting out pseudoscience and misinformation because I do get a lot of requests for that kind of interview as well. I mean, I had a veterinarian who wanted to come on. And while I do love my pets, I did not find a strong relationship to ADHD with that topic. Nonetheless, I know that last year I had some real stinker episodes, so first off, apologies for that. One of the most important things I try to keep in mind while making this podcast is that I don't want to be wasting your time. I know you have a lot of options for podcasts to listen to, so it's important for me to not be wasting your time. So I hope that I haven't lost too many people's trust with those episodes that were less than stellar. So I'm entirely grateful for people who are still listening and choose to tune in because without you, this podcast would not be doing as well as it's doing. Now, some other places I'm thinking about trying to go forward with in the podcast is switching around some of the revenue streams, shutting down the Patreon possibly, or just moving to a different system there, maybe pulling on some different advertisers. We'll see what happens there. I know new advertisers aren't as exciting for you because that's something you're just listening to at the beginning of the shows and maybe aren't that into, but it does help support the show. Along with that, I'd love to be able to work on doing some more community building, getting a little bit more involved on social media, or maybe a Discord channel. We'll see what I can put together, and because I just don't know enough about it myself right now to know how to properly manage a community. And I don't want to be completely flying by my seat of my pants on something like that. And really, that's going to be the focus of 2024 is changing up the format a little bit, trying to just upgrade what the content is already coming out and making sure that I'm providing the best information for you so that you're excited to come to listen to the show every week. So thank you all for listening, and I appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a great rest of your holiday season. See ya in 2024. Oh, shoot, almost forgot. And here is your moment of dad. How much does Santa's sleigh cost? Don't worry about it. It's on the house.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience and their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.